Hello everyone, and thanks so much for logging on to CBSDenver.com. I am Michael Spencer here at Broncos headquarters, where the big news on this Tuesday, the trade of Demaryius Thomas, Broncos wide receiver, now headed to the Houston Texans. Texans and Broncos agreeing to a trade earlier today. It's going to send DT to Houston. In return, the Broncos are going to get a 4th-round pick in the upcoming draft. The two teams also swapping 7th-round picks in the upcoming draft. This was a move that I think a lot of people expected heading into the week. Demaryius Thomas had certainly been talking about it. He heard his name in the trade rumors, and then it came to fruition midday Tuesday, if you will. What the Broncos will lose in Demaryius Thomas is a guy who was a veteran leader inside that locker room and a guy who has arguably been maybe the best Broncos receiver as of late. What he leaves this team with is the fact that he has played in 125 consecutive games. He leaves as the second in all-time receiving yards and touchdowns as well. So a lot of production. Obviously, I know it has dipped over the last year and a half, but a lot of production is what they will lose. Part of the reason why the Broncos felt comfortable making this deal is because of the emergence of rookie Courtland Sutton, a guy they spent a 2nd-round pick on earlier this year. He has been really good through 8 games. They're hoping that with Demaryius gone, he can continue to progress, step up into that number 2 receiver role behind Emmanuel Sanders. Now, one thing that the Broncos will miss is DT's leadership. He was the guy who stayed after practice to work with those young receivers. Every young receiver on this Broncos roster has been complimentary of Demaryius Thomas and the work that he has put in with them. They will miss that. John Elway saying on Tuesday at his press conference, he hopes that Emmanuel Sanders can fill that role. Sanders now stepping up to be the number 1 receiver for the Broncos. Of course, an interesting dynamic here is that the Houston Texans come to Denver on Sunday. So DT's first game with his new team will be at Mile High against his old team. That game kicking off at 2:05 Sunday afternoon on CBS 4 for those of you in the Denver area. You can see that game, and of course we will plan to hear from Demaryius when he meets with reporters in Houston. We'll of course bring that for you on CBS 4 as well. Coming up throughout the day today, we will have reaction from John Elway as well as from Demaryius' teammates as they sound off after the Broncos have agreed to trade Demaryius Thomas to the Houston Texans in exchange for a 4th-round pick, and the two teams also swapping 7th-round picks as well. That is going to do it for us here on CBSDenver.com. We'll see you tonight on the CBS 4 News at 5, 6, and 10.